Rejection isn't personal. It's required. See, hearing no from a prospect is a necessary part of the sales process. Truly, the more no's you get, the closer you really are to the next yes. I know it sounds cliche-ish. See, if you keep avoiding the no's because you think that they're personal attacks or assault on your ability to do your job, getting yes will always be a struggle. See, most people unconsciously equate a rejection with failure, but rejection is simply a request. It's a request for more data. It's a request for more certainty. It's simply feedback. See, rejection doesn't define who you are. It doesn't even define how good you are at a task. What it does is rejection actually refines you. If you're not getting rejected often enough, it's probably because you're not taking enough risks. See, in sales, rejection is proof of movement. It's proof of consideration. It's not evidence of failure. Rejection is not the opposite of success. Not at all. I often say success is on the other side of your greatest discomfort. You can't become resilient without resistance. It's a necessary part of your growth. Truly, every no that you get is like a rep in the gym of confidence. The deeper issue is all about your self-identity and your self-image. It's not about strategy if you really think about it. You feel rejected because you've overly become attached to being accepted, to being liked. See, when your self-worth, when your self-belief is tied to somebody saying yes, then of course rejection is going to feel like a rejection of you. Not your offer, but of you. But if you can separate your identity from the outcome, well, rejection then kind of loses its sting, doesn't it? This is something that I teach from the book Psycho-Cybernetics. See, sales is 80% self-image. It's all about your own self-belief. And then it's 20% strategy and tactics. If you really think about it, rejection doesn't mean that it's time for you to stop. When the client gives you the objection of, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, this doesn't feel like a right fit, that's not the time for you to pack in and go. That's the time for you to adjust. It's a time for you to roll up your sleeves and get to work, saying, okay, how do I communicate my value? How do I articulate the value proposition to the client? How do I build certainty? Rejection doesn't mean it's time to stop. It means it's time for you to shift to a different strategy, to a different language pattern, to a different focus. You need to reframe it. Rejection isn't a cliff, it's a compass. It's often a sign that you're much closer to the truth. See, I remember pitching a big account and being rejected 5 times. But each no helped me refine my final pitch because each no was an area of uncertainty. And the truth is that they just didn't have uncertainty with me. The type of uncertainty they had was the same uncertainty that I'm sure they delivered to everybody who was pitching that deal. Had I not stuck with it, had I done like everybody else who was bidding on the contract, I would have never landed a $50,000 deal. See, rejection isn't your enemy. It's your entry point to success. You have to make this reframe shift in your mind. You have to start treating it like a coach, not a critic. Rejection is a coach, and it's telling you, we don't have enough certainty. Build certainty. Build certainty in these areas. Show me what you're going to do. Show me the value in you doing it, and show me what makes you different from everybody else. That's what rejection is asking of you. It's not a critic. Remember, they're not rejecting you. They're rejecting the offer and the way that you've presented it. That's it. And sometimes that's the best gift that you'll ever get, because now you know where you got to go to work. In our 11-step system, we actually have a sacrificial offer that invites a no. There's a step in our process that says overcoming the expected and welcomed objection. It's one of the 11 steps. We know this. There is no offer that's going to be the right fit for everybody at the right time. So if you're going to anchor your entire self-worth to a sale, well, you're going to collapse when it fails and falls through. See, you are not searching for your worth in the closing of a deal. What you're searching for is the right fit. And that means that you have to be the right fit for them, and they have to be the right fit for you. That means you can have the wrong yes, and you can have the right no. That's why you have to let rejection kind of prune your pipeline, because every wrong yes. Have you ever had a wrong yes? Have you ever had the wrong people say yes? If you have, you know the high cost of that. Have you ever had the right no? Have you ever been thankful, like, whoa, I'm so glad they said no? Hindsight 2020. And you hear the war stories of the person who did sell them, and like, oh my gosh, this client's a nightmare. You're thinking, well, thank God they said no to me. See, what you're calling rejection right now, a pro calls redirection. Every great sales leader tracks how many no's that they get before they hit a closing yes. In my early career as a salesperson, I had this ratio: 10 calls, 3 connections, 1 qualified prospect, 1 close. And rejection helped me reverse engineer how to build the certainty necessary to change those statistics. Avoiding rejection is what actually creates more of it. What you resist persists. That's it. I'm going to tell you this. Fear of rejection shows up in your tonality, it shows up in your timing, and it shows up in your closing ratio. Confidence doesn't come before the sale. It comes from staying in the sale. The longer that you can maintain rapport with somebody, the greater confidence you're going to have. And I'm telling you, a prospect can feel when you're afraid of hearing no. And they then mirror that hesitation right back to you every single time. See, the key here is to measure the action and the outcome. You can't force a yes. You can't go into convincer mode. That's the worst thing you can do. If you get a yes by convincing them to say yes, you're going to have to keep convincing them every step of the delivery way. You can't force a yes, but you can control how many asks you can make. See, sales is in part a numbers game. And as long as you're taking the right steps, as long as you're using the right strategies and tactics, you can win that game. And it has to be played, if you think about it, from a relational heart, not from a logical head. You've got to get out of your head and into your heart. See, rejection only feels personal when you forget that the process really is predictable. When you stop fearing the no, the yes stops feeling like luck. You didn't get lucky they said yes. It's not like, and the same is true. You didn't get unlucky that they said no. You've got to stop treating the no's like it's an emotional attachment to every single outcome you have. Now, before we go any further, I want you to download the Belief Upgrade Guide. I created it for you. And this guide expands on everything that we've covered so far, from how to untangle your identity from rejection to reframing your own mindset about what a no actually means for you, and to build the level of self-belief that powers your sales performance. Now, inside the guide, I'm going to walk you through a really powerful belief inventory, helping you uncover the limiting patterns that quietly sabotage your confidence on all of your sales calls. You'll also get clearer about why rewiring those beliefs can be the best thing and the best strategy you'll ever do, so that you can stay calm, certain, and grounded even when you're being challenged or told no. If fear of rejection has been costing you sales, this guide is going to be your best tool. Now, the link is in the description down below, and then I want you to come right back because we're going to get into some deeper stuff here. See, what you believe about rejection determines how you react to it. If you're taking notes, and I hope you are, and if you've got the guide, and I hope you did, write this down. My belief drives my behavior. So what you believe about rejection determines how you behave about rejection. If you believe no means that you're a failure, you will do anything to avoid it, even taking a risk in asking for the deal. If you believe that no means that, I'm getting closer, if you think that no means that this is an opportunity for me to really build more value, you'll lean in. You'll take a risk. You won't worry about, offending them. Belief drives behavior. And when we rewire our belief, the rejection loses its power. See, you've been trained to chase approval, not lead with authority. Most people think that rapport is know, like, and trust. And so they're trying to be liked. They're trying to be liked. They're trying to be liked. And by trying to be liked, we seek approval. I'm telling you, rapport is not about know, like, and trust. Rapport is about authority. You want to chase something, chase authority. Chase being the authority. I'm going to tell you this, rejection stings. It stings. And so when you think being liked is the goal, well then anytime you face any level of rejection, it's going to sting. But the truth is this, when you're in alignment with your purpose, when you're in alignment with the energy of authority, when you see yourself as an expert, when you really have the self-belief that you were meant to be doing what you're doing, that when this person buys from you, they're buying from the very best person they could be buying from. When you have that level of alignment, liking you becomes a byproduct. You don't have to be needy to be likable. It's a posture that I would love to do business with you, but I don't need your business. I'm going to be okay. I'd love to do business with you, but if you choose not to, that's okay. See, that level of posture, that level of authority, it's what builds trust. And trust builds influence. See, rejection is often a misalignment of timing. Think about it. Rejection is a misalignment of timing, not of your value, not even of your offer's value. Sometimes it just isn't the right time. They're not saying that you're not good enough. They're saying not yet. It could be timing, budget, clarity. These are all very real reasons for someone to say no. So a professional, an expert, a person in authority doesn't take it personally. Amateurs internalize it. I remember this time when I had to make 37 sales calls before someone gave me a yes. It took 37 calls. Now look, it would have been easy for me to quit at number 15, at number 20, at number 25. But here's what I did. I chose to reframe that every no was part of my process. It was part of the goal achieving process. It wasn't a dead end. And that next yes turned into one of my largest opportunities that I had ever had in the cleaning business. See, your results follow your belief. When you can upgrade your belief, you'll transform how rejection affects you. Now, let me say this. Emotional regulation is the most underdeveloped sales skill, and it shows up after every single no that you get. If you spiral, if you blame, if you retreat, the problem isn't rejection, my friend. It's the lack of emotional maturity. It's the lack of you not being authority. Remember, sales is the transference of emotion. You have to stay calm and in control of your emotions at all time. The calmer you are, the more control you have over the frame. Certainty, it's built on rehearsal. It's built on being prepared. It's built on trial and error. Certainty doesn't come from results. It comes from what it takes to get results. Rejection shouldn't shake you. If your preparation is strong, the rejection is just a predictable next step. In our program, we rehearse objections. And we also rehearse being told no. We review all of the mindset rituals to prepare for the no. We visualize our responses. We script them in. Because I can tell you this, having the internal script of maturity, having the internal script of authority, having the internal script of preparedness is stronger than any external strategy or tactic you can ever apply. If you can't handle small rejections, you will never lead high stakes rooms. You'll never have a seat at those tables. I can tell you this, the price of admission to influence is discomfort. If you want to be influential, you have to be able to deal with discomfort. If you can't get through 10 no's in a day, how will you handle a $100,000 pitch? I often say, don't pray for the mountain if you can't carry the weight. Don't pray for the mountain if you can't carry the weight. See, it's a climb to higher results. It's a climb to get to the new level that you want to get to. It's going to be a climb. And the climb is hard. And it's lonely. And you're on the rope alone. There's nobody there to do it for you. There's nobody there to pull you up. You have to do it. One skill, one strategy, one mindset at a time. And that takes intentionality to reframe what the outcome means. Your strongest, most powerful resource is your ability to define the meaning of things. I'm telling you this, most people don't need better scripts. They need better conditioning, a better belief system about themselves so that they can assign the meaning to things in the right way. Sales is always a test of your ability to bounce back. You have to train your recovery. How fast can you settle negative thoughts? How fast can you bounce back from negative emotions? See, that's going to determine your close ratio. Rejection resilience is your competitive edge. It's not the no that breaks you. It's how unprepared you were to face it in the first place. Think about it this way. Every single no contains wisdom. Every single no gives you an insight into the mind of the buyer, into their level of certainty and where they are. But only if you're going to be present enough to listen. Did you miss rapport? Did you misread the timing? Did you skip the commitment objective? See, by reflecting on your actions and the steps that you took, It's going to help you transform rejection into refinement. I love mantras, and one mantra I have is don't just go through it, grow through it. Don't just go through it, grow through it. I'm going to tell you this. It's not experience that changes your life. It's evaluated experiences that change your life. And when you have rejection exposes the gaps in your offer. It exposes the gaps in your pitch. It exposes the gap in your ability to establish and maintain rapport. Rejection is a gift if you can frame it that way. Sometimes they're not rejecting the value. They're rejecting the vagueness of the value. You might have clarity. You might know exactly how it all works. But did you transfer that clarity to them? Pros use rejection as mirrors. They let rejection build their posture, not their bitterness. It allows them, every single no becomes curriculum for them to evolve to the next yes. The goal is never to avoid discomfort. It's to walk through it with certainty. Posture, real posture, the posture of authority, is going to be your greatest persuasion tool. People follow conviction more than presentation. When you can buy in and when you can transfer that level of certainty, that level of buy-in, they feel it. See, you will never outperform the level of rejection that you're willing to face. You just won't. There's no shortcut around this kind of discomfort. You can only grow through it or you'll quit. And once you realize that rejection is something that you need to forge, it's something that will help you sharpen your skill and refine you and give you a more elegant process, that rejection is not the failure, then everything begins to change for you from that one reframe. No success story is ever rejection free. Why do you think yours should be? See, rejection is really a rite of passage. Don't run from it. Learn from it. Grow from it. Walk through it. Let it shape you to being a better leader. Self-leadership. To be a better authority. To lead your next becoming. Now look, if you're still afraid of rejection, you're not in the game yet. You're watching on the sidelines. Real pros, it's not that they're fearless. It's that they're forged by the no's. They didn't stop when they heard no. They walked into the rejection. They leaned into the discomfort. They allowed it to shape them, to prepare them. See, you're not being punished. You're being prepared. So if you haven't already downloaded the Belief Upgrade Guide, it will walk you through exactly how to rewire your subconscious mind so that you can reframe your beliefs about rejection. It'll help you overcome fear, overcome hesitation, overcome the rejection sensitivity. This is the mindset training that your sales process is begging for. And once you've got it dialed in, the very next thing you need is certainty at the close. That's why I want you to come right back and I want you to watch this next video. It's called the number one closing line you'll ever use and exactly how and when to deliver it with maximum impact. The link is right there in the description below. I'll see you in the next video.